Gibbo presents.
At the end of March, Brooklyn's own Kosmik Movements will be venturing to Europe for the first time. This, however, will be no vacation, as they have an important business matter to deal with. War in the East 2013. I recently caught up with Easy from the New York-based Sounds to chat about the upcoming clash in the Netherlands. I started by asking him what sets Kosmik apart from their opponents, Sentinel and Yard Beat.
Well, to answer that question, I would say what separates Kosmik from the other two sounds is our hunger right now. You know, we have a hunger to make it in this business. And although we've been around for a very short time, you know, I've been following the class business basically all my life, and I want this. You know, I really want this. So you know, me and my team, we're gonna give it all we got, and you know, the music is gonna speak for itself. You know, we try to be as original as possible. You know, we try to set ourselves aside from other sounds. And I think eventually, you know, our experience is starting to gain. We've taken enough clashes now, so I think, you know, once we get to Holland, I mean, what's gonna separate us from the rest is our hunger that we want this. You know, we've been working very hard for the last couple of months for this, and we expect a victory. You know.
Do you think all three sounds are pretty evenly matched, or do you feel Kosmik is a step ahead?
Well, no, I'm not going to say I'm a step ahead because obviously, you know, we're the underdogs. You know, we're going to be on their home turf in Europe. Yard Beat, you know, they recently had a clash out in Europe before, so we're pretty much the underdog. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to say that we're pretty even, but I know in drive and ambition, you know, I think that, you know, we're pretty even with that, you know, because everybody, all three sounds are going to be here to make a statement. So we're going to be even in that sense. But in terms of experience, you know, we're the youngest sound that's going to be on this clash, and but we have just as much hunger and ambition as the other two sounds.
So you consider Kosmik to be the underdogs in this clash. Do you prefer being underdogs? Does this give you any advantages?
Well, in every clash that I've been in for the past 2.5 years, we've been the underdogs, and I've gotten used to that position. I'm comfortable in that position because when you're the underdogs, nothing is expected of you, but at the same time, being the underdog, we also get to be the element of surprise because, like I said, this will be our first time touching European soil, and you know, I would say maybe 70 to 80% of the people there have never heard of us. So, you know, of course we're the underdog, and I have no problem. You know, I have no problem. It's just, you know, we're gonna have the element of surprise. You know, expect the unexpected when it comes to Kosmik.
As you said, Kosmik are the only sound involved in War in the East who haven't clashed in Europe before. Do you feel this is a disadvantage as you aren't as familiar with the European crowds and they aren't as familiar with you?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying that because, you know, we're from Brooklyn. We're from the mecca of clash, you know, and we've traveled to Jamaica in clash. We've clashed in Brooklyn, and I think if you can make it here, in which we have, you can make it anywhere in the world. You know, it's a lot of how you say it. It's more pressure to clash in New York, I feel, than anywhere else. So, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you know, we're ready for anything.
Does clashing abroad get you away from the pressure and distractions that come with clashing in your hometown?
Kosmik to that level and make it internationally known, and the pressure is there. But in terms of the actual clash itself, there's no pressure on us at all. There's no pressure on us at all. I mean, it's a much more hostile environment on this side of the world, I think, than on that side. So, our box is basically, covers everything. It's built all around. So I think we would do well out there because, one thing I do notice about, Europe is they appreciate music. They appreciate, not saying that we don't over here, but I feel that we could really get deep into our box because for what it said, Kosmik hasn't really showed what we have yet. We haven't really shown the world what we're capable of yet. We're still young, we're still learning the business, but in terms of musically, we have not really unleashed what we have in store. And I think, over there would be the perfect place, to do that. So, like I said, you have to expect the unexpected when it comes to us. We're very well educated when it comes to music. Very well educated. We have good teachers, we have good people that we keep around, and it's nothing but positive vibes from here. So once we get over there, our box is going to speak for itself.
Do you feel there are certain dubs in the Kosmik box or elements of your game which will really appeal to the European crowds?
Yeah, absolutely. Me myself, I'm like I said, I'm a student. I come from the school of downbeat and all of the elders that helped build the clash in the New York City area. That's where we come from. So, our box is gonna reflect that. It's gonna speak for itself. Just like in every clash that we've been in. Although we don't have a winning record, I could honestly say every clash we stepped in, we left a lasting impression. And we have nothing but time on our hands to make an impact in this business. And we're not in a rush to do it. It's coming faster than I expected. But once we touch European soil, they're gonna know who Kosmik is. It's win or lose this clash. If we can walk out of this clash with one or two new fans that we didn't have before we reach, then I feel like we accomplished something. Not saying we're not going out there to win, but at the end of the day, we will make a stamp on when we get out there. They're gonna know who Kosmik is by the Kosmik leaf.
You hail from New York, which at the moment is the sound clash capital of the world. Are there any benefits to being based in a city with such a vibrant clash scene?
The good thing about New York and it actually being the capital is at any given time, a clash can break out. The last couple of months has been very active, and yes, I have been to most, if not all, of the clashes that's been going on in the last couple of months. But the thing about New York is it's more of a pride thing with the sound systems that are based here. So it could be a regular a baby shower or anything in a clash that just break out. That's just how it is. It could be a block party. It could be at any event. At any given time, I've seen it. I've been in it where if two sounds are in a venue and words are thrown, a clash can easily break out. And I think by being here in New York, we have that insight and we have that experience. We know how to react to certain things, because we've witnessed it, And I myself, I've been attending clashes. I would say since about 90, 91 in that era, and I would say 95% of the classes that took place in New York for the past 20 years. Me personally, I've been there, so I think it gives us a little bit of an advantage in that sense. But at the same time, we're traveling overseas to a totally different, playing field. So, as a sound coming from Brooklyn, we have to be able to adjust, because although it's the same concept of clash, it's in a different territory, so you don't know you don't know what to expect yet. You know, we don't know. We're not sure of how the fans are going to accept us. So it's just it's a 50-50. It can go anyway.
Has it been difficult to scout your opponents for this clash, given that Sentinel are sending out their new team, and Yard Beat's last clash took place in Japan, with all of the speeches in Japanese, and the audio of it hasn't been released yet?
Right. Well, I mean, it's not hard. I mean, social media made it very easy, very easy. As a matter of fact, I remember the first time Sentinel came to New York for World Clash, I was there, and I saw them, but, I know they have a new team, and I'm not really familiar. I mean, I hear little words being thrown out at little part, gatherings that they have out there, and I heard Kosmik's name being called, and, we're aware of it. We listen. We pay attention to everything. And, it's social media has made it very easy, put it like that, very easy to get scouting reports. And although, certain clashes we haven't gotten a chance to listen to in terms of recent ones because it's not out yet, but we're not really too concerned about that, to be honest with you.
Are Sentinel making a mistake sending out their new recruits, Algie and Daniel, for this battle?
Well, I don't think that the owners of Sentinel would put themselves in a position if they weren't comfortable, okay? I mean, this is obviously the biggest clash in Europe at this time, and as an owner of a sound system, I know myself, I would make sure before I put my team out that they're well prepared. So as veterans, which Sentinel is, I doubt that they're going to put out, their team if they don't have 100% confidence in them. I doubt that, but, so we're ready for anything. We're not, I know they don't have the class experience, but they're coming from, good school, because after all, I'm a fan of Sentinel. As much as I'm clashing them, I've been listening to them for forever, and I respect the sound, but at the same time, we're on the battlefield, so it's all, even playing ground. Like, it doesn't matter who they are. I mean, we clash some of the biggest names in the industry so far, and I know for a fact if Sentinel is going to be at war in the East, they're going to make sure they're prepared. I'm not doubting that. They're going to make sure they're over-prepared, just like they do it at every situation. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be ready for us.
As you mentioned earlier, Yard Beats have clashed in Europe before. They defeated City Lock in Berlin in 2011. Do you feel they will try and stick to what's worked for them last time and play in a similar fashion on March the 30th?
Well, one thing I do know, I mean, with Yard Beat, and I'm actually good friends with them, as I've mentioned, and Jason and them, but one thing I do know is they will not, they're perfectionists, that's their perfectionists, so they're going to make sure that everything is in line, they're going to be pretty much prepared for anything. They know us, they know our style, they know that when we come, we're going to come, 110% ready. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty much ready for anything. I don't know if they're going to keep that same style as they did against, their last opponent in Europe. I'm not, but they know if they're clashing with Kosmik, they know that they're going to have to bring everything to the table because there's going to be no holds barred. There's going to be a rumble in there. It's going to be no holds barred. Everything off, gloves off. We're friends, but I'd rather continue our friendship after the clash. For now, we're just enemies. We're going to be on a battlefield, so anything is possible, But one thing I do know, they will be prepared. They will be prepared for this clash because they're in the same position as we are in a sense because they're fairly new. I think they're about 6 or 7 years old, and they want it just as bad as we do. I'm guessing, and I know they're going to be prepared. They're perfectionists, and most Japanese sounds, if they go to if they make it to a big stage like this, they're not going to just come in there and play
Is a younger sound always a hungrier sound?
In a sense, yeah. In a sense, because really and truly, if Sentinel loses this clash, it's not going to change their status in terms of where they stand in this business. They've made their name for themselves. They come to the biggest stage that you can possibly come, and they actually won. So I'm not saying, maybe for the younger generation on a sound, they feel like they have something to prove. Like, yes, they belong on this sound and they're going to represent it. But in terms of a whole, I don't think they're as hungry as we are. We're hungry. We want this, So we're gonna give it our best,
I feel Kosmik have risen through the sound system ranks quickly, and that you have a level of status and respect, especially in the US, that sounds don't usually enjoy until later on in their career. Do you agree with me? And if you do, why do you think this is?
Well, even though Kosmik is almost about 4 years old now, the members of Kosmik, myself, we've been in this business, we all have minimum of 20 years under our belt, so it's not as if we're new to this. Okay, so when Kosmik was formatted when we started, the goal was to separate ourselves from everyone. We want to try to make a name for ourselves in which, I wasn't expecting it to happen this fast, I'll be honest with you, but certain doors open, certain situations happen where we just took advantage of it, and it's definitely unexpected. And sometimes even to this day, I have to take a step back and look at it like wow, we made it here in such a short period of time. But don't think we've taken that for granted. It took a lot of hard work to get there. A lot of sleepless nights. A lot of it wasn't just handed to us. We earned this place. And we're gonna take full advantage of it. We're gonna War in the East is gonna be. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be history. So, we're ready.
When you established Kosmik, did you set yourself time-related goals?
No, I didn't set any goals. No, definitely not. I just made it a point that every time Kosmik stepped on stage, Kosmik was going to leave a lasting impression on at least one person in the crowd. At least if we can get to one person at a time and get ratings and create fans like that, then I feel that we're doing something. We're heading towards the right direction. But I've never put a time stamp and said, okay, I expect this. This is the way Kosmik was built. We can basically compete with any sound, and I can tell you that any sound. But it was no time. It's just the right doors. I think we came in the business at the right time. That's what it was. Because when we came in the business, Clash wasn't there where it's at now. It's just starting to grow, and we happen to be in the mix of that. So it's just, I guess, being at the right place at the right time and getting the right calls and taking the right dates. It just made it to where, and also thanks to social media, whereas 15, 20 years ago, we would have had a harder time reaching to where we reached because, if something happens in New York tonight, by tomorrow morning, all of Europe would hear about it and the audio would be out and you have YouTube and you have this and you have that. So, social media definitely helped Kosmik, I guess gain to fame fast, but we didn't plan this. We definitely didn't plan this at all. It just happened, we happened to be, as you say, bust at the right time. It was the perfect time, and we just took full advantage of it.
Do you feel this opportunity to clash in Europe came just at the right time for you?
My goal is basically, to take this out and take it around the world and compete and you know. I like to travel myself. My passport is full as it is, but I want to just show my team that, listen, you know, there's something that we can go somewhere with this. You know, we can take this to the other side of the world if we want. You know, the possibilities are endless. So, you know, this opportunity of fashion in Europe definitely came to a surprise to me, but, you know, as soon as I got the call, it wasn't even a second thought about it, you know. I'm there.
So you didn't have to consider the offer or consult the other members of the Sounds. As soon as you were asked, you said, we'll be there.
So as soon as I got the call, I didn't ask nobody, I didn't know. Yes, you know, just like, you know, any other clash, you know, if the situation is right and it benefits Kosmik, then, you know, absolutely, it was no hesitation. I didn't even, honestly speaking, I didn't even ask who was in the clash, who we were going against. You know, War in the East, I'm very familiar with, you know, with that, you know, the clash series out there. You know, I watched the video, I listened to the audio, and it wasn't even a second thought about it, absolutely.
You said you like to travel. Have you ever visited the Netherlands before?
Me personally, I've never visited the Netherlands. I've been to all over England. I've been to, you know, I've never touched Netherlands, Amsterdam, Germany, none of those places. You know, but I plan to.
When a boxer is fighting abroad, they like to travel a few days before a fight so they can get over the jet lag and become acclimatized. Will you be arriving in the Netherlands the day before the clash, or are you rolling straight from the plane to the venue, ready to kill?
We'll be arriving. The clash is Saturday. We'll be in the Netherlands by Thursday. Because like I said, I travel a lot, so I know about the jet lag and I know about getting used to it because it's a 6-hour difference. So, you know, naturally your body has to adjust to the time. So we will be there a couple of days early and, you know, taking some sights and, you know, maybe go to a couple of dances beforehand just to get the vibe out there. But, you know, we definitely will be out there a couple of days before.
That also shows how seriously you're taking the clash, as little things like jet lag or not liking the foods or the language barrier can all affect your state of mind and your performance.
Absolutely. Me personally, when it comes to certain things, I try to be a step or two ahead of the game. So, you know, I wouldn't dare come the same day of a clash and, you know, no, I wouldn't do that to myself, I wouldn't do that to my team.
Kosmik were recently featured in an article which appeared in Caribbean Life, a Brooklyn-based newspaper. Do they often cover sound system culture?
Not really. Not as often. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, there's been other articles in the past, but it's not. It's a weekly paper, so you know, like I said, you know, our name has been floating around, and I guess it got to the right people, and they called us one day and asked if they could do an interview. And, you know, like I said, the step of a Brooklyn-based sound that's fairly young going overseas to clash, you know, it's a big thing. You know, it's big. So, you know, we're not just going representing Kosmik. You know, we're going to carry our whole borough, our whole New York City, the whole country, you can say, we're going to be representing. So, you know, this is, to us, there's nothing else more important right now.
Clash fans in Brooklyn will have already been well aware of your upcoming trip to Europe. But do you think this article helped raise awareness of the clash amongst the other members of the community?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, any type of publicity is good, you know, good or bad, but you know, especially in Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn is a big place. It's hundreds and hundreds of sound. You wouldn't imagine how many sound systems there are in Brooklyn alone. So it definitely helped, you know, with our recognition. People, you know, I go to certain places and people wishing me luck and telling me, rep for Brooklyn, and it definitely helps. It definitely helps.
Obviously, this clash is taking up a lot of your time and energy at the moment, but is there anything else you want to plug or mention?
Well, we have a lot in the works coming up for 2013. I don't want to speak on it, before time, but I just want to say, give thanks, big up, Sultan and the whole Herbalize It, for considering Kosmik, and just Europe, get ready, get ready. This will be epic, Kosmik is ready, and we coming to kill everything.
Lastly, tell me what's going to happen on March the 30th.
The only thing I can promise that's going to happen March 30th is whoever is in the venue will be entertained by all three styles. I'm confident in that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Kosmik is coming. We plan to come back with a victory. That's our goal, and we will give it our all to do it. So just expect the unexpected. You will be entertained. War in the East, you will get your money's worth. That's the best I can say. You will get your money's worth. I know that for a fact. And knowing all three sounds, and we're all going to be prepared. But right now, I'm sure, Sentinel is somewhere studying Kosmik, listening to our audio, watching our video, watching the mistakes we made. Trying to, and same thing with Yard Beat. They're somewhere studying us. They're somewhere, So it's only right. We're doing the same thing. We're like I said, we're the youngest, so we're still learning. We're still, even though Sentinel has two new selectors, the sound itself, I'm sure they have elders directing them. They have elders. For us, it's just we're learning as we go. So all I can promise you is War in the East 2013 is going to be epic. That's the best word I can use. It's going to be epic.
Thanks for taking time to chat today, Easy. It was great hearing your thoughts on War in the East. May the best sound win.
All right, respect. Give thanks.
Gibbo.